If you're a life insurance agent and you keep losing deals on the follow-up, this video is going to show exactly why that's happening, and it's going to show you exactly what to say instead. And I spent over like $61,000 on ads. I have worked more than 13,000 leads across my 6 years in the business. And I can tell you that the single biggest place I have watched agents throw away money is right here, in the follow-up. Not in the ad, not on the discovery call, not in the presentation, in the follow-up. And most of what I'm gonna walk you through in this video comes from a guy named Dan Kennedy, who wrote a book called No BS Direct Marketing. And the one rule from that book that I want you to hear today is this: every single communication you send to a prospect has to include an offer. And that is the rule. If there is no offer in the message, it is not a follow-up. It is a professional visit, you can call it. It is you showing up, saying hi, and then hoping something happens. And let me show you what I mean. Take the average follow-up message that goes out from a life insurance agent to, let's say, to a lead that came in 2 weeks ago. Something like, hey John, just checking in to see if you had a chance to think about the plan we talked about. Like, look at that message honestly. There is no offer. There is no reason for John to reply today. There is no deadline. There is no next step. It is a text that basically asks John to do the work of moving the deal forward on his own. And most of the time, John doesn't reply. And it has nothing to do with whether John is interested or not. There is simply nothing in that message that asks him to actually do something today. Dan Kennedy has a line that stuck with me. He says, every communication should ask somebody to do something. And that is what makes it a marketing communication instead of a professional visit. And once you internalize that, you start looking at your own follow-up sequence very differently. Every text, every email, every voicemail, every DM, every call, it is either asking the prospect to do something specific or it is not. And if it's not, it is dead weight in the sequence. It is not helping you close the deal. It might even be teaching the prospect that your messages can be ignored because none of them ever ask them to do anything. So the fix here is simple to describe, and it takes some work to actually build. Every follow-up message you send needs 3 things inside it. Okay, so number 1, an actual offer, something specific the prospect can say yes to. Number 2, a reason for them to respond right now, and that usually means a deadline or a limit or a time window. And number 3, a reason why. Something that explains why the offer exists in the first place so that it doesn't feel random. So let me get a little bit more concrete on the offer piece for a second, because I want you to understand me when I say offer. In a regulated industry where we can't discount policies and we can't make a Groupon out of coverage, Kennedy talks about the difference between a high threshold offer and a low threshold offer. A high threshold offer is something that the person has to be almost ready to buy right now in order to say yes. For example, book a policy review, get on a call to finalize your plan, sign the paperwork, come in for the medical exam. Those are high threshold offers where the person basically has to be at 99% ready, and most of your leads are not there yet. On the other hand, a low threshold offer is something the person can say yes to when they're curious or maybe half interested or still thinking about it. And this is the piece most agents skip entirely in their follow-up. They only have one offer in their whole sequence, and it is the highest threshold one. Book the appointment, get on the call, and when the prospect is not ready to book the appointment yet, the sequence goes silent because the agent has nothing else to offer them. The move here is to build a low threshold offer that lives in the middle of your follow-up sequence and to use it as the reason for every single message going out during that window. And my favorite example of this, and the one I want you to actually go build this week, is a free book, a free PDF, a free checklist, a free guide. And I know some agents are gonna hear this and they're gonna think, hey, like nobody is gonna request a free book or a free PDF. But the way that a free PDF, a free book works is that they see it as something easy to say yes to. Okay, it's not like you asking them to marry you right away. It's you asking them to give you their contact information or to say yes to you again if they're already a lead in exchange of a valuable piece of information. Like the fee is small enough that most families can say yes without needing to think about it for 2 weeks, and big enough that they take it serious. Now, watch what happens to your follow-up sequence once you have that offer sitting in the middle of it. The prospect who came in 2 weeks ago and did not book the call now has a second thing they can say yes to. They don't have to jump straight from filling out a form to booking a full appointment with an agent they barely know. They can say yes to the smaller step, which is the free book, sit down for an hour, get a written plan, like written information, and move at their own pace. And once they have paid you with their time and sat down with you and gotten a written plan in their hands, the odds that they buy the actual policy from you go way up, because now they're not shopping a quote, they're working with the person who already gave them a piece of valuable information. So let me show you what a follow-up message looks like once this offer is in place, as opposed to like the message that we talked about earlier. Instead of, hey John, just checking in, you turn it into something like this. Hey John, this is Giovanni. 2 weeks ago you filled out the form on the family protection plan, and I have space this week and next week to send you a free valuable book that we send to people just like you. It is completely free. I give you the written plan. You can put your information here. You can request it. I can call you later this week. I have 3 spots open on Thursday and 2 on Friday of next week. If you want one, if you want a book, text me back and I will send you the link so that we can schedule a time to speak, and I'll send it over to you. Look at that message honestly. There is a real offer inside of it. There is a deadline built into the availability. There is a reason why. There is a next step the prospect can take today with about 10 seconds of effort, and it does not feel pushy at all. It doesn't sound like a sales pitch. It sounds like a professional, and not only a professional, but a professional offer, which is what you actually offer. And this is where the whole thing starts to compound, because now every message in your follow-up sequence can point back to the same offer. Voicemail number 1 talks about the plan and mentions the free book. Text number 2 references the same session with a slightly different angle, maybe about how families, prospect specific situation usually walk out with 2 or 3 coverage options I had never seen before. Number 3 tells a short story about a family who did a planning session with you and what they learned about their existing policy, and they got the book. Every message is asking for the same next step, which is booking a planning session by the end of this week to send you a free book. And every message has a real deadline built in because your availability is real. You only have so many hours in your calendar. So I want to say one more thing about like the reason why piece of it, because I think this is the piece that most agents forget. When you tell somebody there's a deadline, they want to know why. If the deadline sounds made up, they ignore it. On the other hand, if the deadline sounds real, they respect it. So don't invent, don't create fake urgency. Do not say the rates are going up on Monday unless you can prove it. Do not say the carrier is pulling the product unless it's true. What you can say honestly is that you personally only have a certain number of planning session slots each week, because you actually do only have a certain number of hours each week. And once those slots are taken this week, the next opening is not until the following week or the following month. Like, that is a real deadline based on a real constraint, which is your time, and it works because it is true. So the fact of the matter is, the follow-up is where most life insurance agents lose the deal, and they lose it because there is no offer inside their follow-up. Once there is a real offer sitting in the middle of the sequence with a real deadline and a real reason why, the whole thing starts working differently. The prospect has something to say yes to. Your calendar starts filling up with families who actually wanted to sit down with you. And the close on the policy after you give them something written becomes the easiest conversation of the whole sequence. So go build the offer this week, and if you have any questions, I'm here for you and I'm rooting for you. Let's get to work.